Welcome to Hong Kong Brief. The content of the briefing includes: M&G Fund went big in China stock purchases on capitulation bets. U.S. renews inquiry into Applied Materials Chinese business. Offshore creditor files petition to wind up Country Garden. Clever but random, Wikipedia's Jimmy Wales on the subtler risks of AI. Hong Kong Budget 2024-25, what has finance chief lined up to fix economy? M&G Fund went big in China stock purchases on capitulation bets. Bloomberg. U.S. renews inquiry into Applied Materials Chinese business. Bloomberg. U.S. government agencies have issued new requests for information regarding Applied Materials Incorporated shipments to Chinese customers. Applied Materials is the largest supplier of equipment for making semiconductors in the U.S., and its products are central to efforts to contain China's technological ascent. The U.S. government has escalated its campaign of sanctions to prevent the flow of advanced chips to China, and Applied Materials is one of several companies facing scrutiny for its dealings with Chinese customers. Despite the sanctions, companies like Applied Materials are seeing increased revenue from China, as the country stockpiles electronics before stricter curbs are implemented. Offshore creditor files petition to wind up Country Garden. Nikkei Asia. Hong Kong creditor Evercredit has petitioned the High Court to wind up Chinese property developer Country Garden Holdings over a due loan payment, including $204 million in principal and interest. The court has accepted the filing and set the first hearing for May 17. Country Garden has vowed to vigorously oppose the petition. The developer's total borrowings came to $35.8 billion at the end of June 2023, while it held $14.4 billion in cash. Clever but random, Wikipedia's Jimmy Wales on the subtler risks of AI. Nikkei Asia. Wikipedia co-founder Jimmy Wales has expressed concern over the impact of generative AI, particularly OpenAI's ChatGPT, on the reliability of information. While he acknowledged the technology's creative abilities, Wales said AI-generated responses are often inaccurate or random due to flawed data and poor training. He also expressed concern that users may rely on ChatGPT for information that would previously be found on Wikipedia, potentially reducing donations to the nonprofit platform. Wikipedia has expanded its machine learning team and is experimenting with an open-sourced large language model to support its editing community. Hong Kong Budget 2024-25, what has finance chief lined up to fix economy? South China Morning Post. Hong Kong's finance chief, Paul Chan-Imopa, is set to deliver his budget blueprint in the Legislative Council, with the focus on reviving the city's struggling economy and shrinking fiscal reserves. One key area of interest is how Chan will address the cooling measures put in place a decade ago to revive the property market. It is expected that he will only lift some of the measures. Additionally, Chan is expected to allocate 971 million Hong Kong dollars, $124 million to the Tourism Board over 3 financial years to boost the sector and attract visitors following the pandemic. The city's deficit is expected to exceed 100 billion Hong Kong dollars, potentially leaving fiscal reserves at their lowest in a decade. Hong Kong stocks slip as Country Garden wind-up petition sends developers down. South China Morning Post. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index fell 0.2% to 16,758.09 as property shares declined following a winding-up petition against Country Garden. The Hang Seng Tech Index, however, rose 0.8% and the Shanghai Composite Index added 0.1%. Other Chinese property developers also retreated, with Longfor Group falling 1.9% and China Resources Land dropping 1.2%. China's Country Garden faces liquidation petition. BBC. China's biggest private property developer, Country Garden, is facing a liquidation petition filed by a creditor in Hong Kong. The firm failed to repay 1.6 billion Hong Kong dollars, $204.5 million, and has said it will resolutely oppose the legal case. Last month, rival real estate giant China Evergrande was ordered to liquidate by a Hong Kong court. The case against Country Garden was filed by Evercredit Limited, and the first hearing is scheduled for May 17. The property market in China is a major sector of the economy, accounting for a third of it. Hong Kong can deliver on mega events, but government must step up. South China Morning Post. Hong Kong's event organizers face difficulties due to a lack of coordination. Organizers must apply for various licenses from government departments, which can take weeks of back and forth. In addition, securing a suitable venue is equally difficult as major arenas need to be booked a year in advance. To tackle this issue, the Hong Kong government has recently established a coordination group to resolve administrative gridlocks and expedite the application process. The government's role in managing and coordinating major events should also be bolstered. Asian stocks slip, Kiwi drops on inflation outlook, markets wrap. Yahoo! Shares in Asia were mostly lower as a rally in China cooled and focus shifted to a slew of growth and inflation data this week. The New Zealand dollar fell after the nation's central bank said inflation expectations have declined. The currency slipped 0.9% after the Reserve Bank of New Zealand said the risks to the inflation outlook have become more balanced, citing how most measures of price expectations have fallen. It held policy rates as expected by economists. Baidu needs to seize AI advantage to erase 30% drop, Tech Watch. Bloomberg. Baidu faces a crucial test to revive its slumping shares as China's internet sector struggles with slower growth. Baidu's shares have dropped nearly 30% since July, underperforming peers due to concerns over the weak economy's drag on advertising revenue and the high costs of AI development. The company's fourth quarter earnings report is expected to show flat sales growth compared to the previous quarter. Baidu's AI operations remain loss-making and are unlikely to turn a profit in the next 3 years due to rising competitive pressures in the sector. The company's outlook has declined, with the average analyst price target for Baidu sliding 15% since October. However, better-than-expected results could trigger a big share price bounce. China says Hong Kong's one country, two systems is permanent. Japan Times. Xiao Baolong, the head of the Hong Kong and Macau Affairs Office, has said that Hong Kong's special governing formula will remain a permanent structure, according to the South China Morning Post. He stated that the one country, two systems principle sets Hong Kong apart from mainland Chinese cities. This comes as Beijing faces pressure to commit to the model in order to revive growth in the city. Wuxi AppTec is most sold Chinese stock by foreigners on U.S. fear. Bloomberg. Shares of Chinese biotech company Wuxi AppTec have seen a significant sell-off this year due to fears of U.S. sanctions. Foreign investors have offloaded 5.45 billion Chinese yuan, $757 million, of the stock this year, compared to purchases of 7.6 billion Chinese yuan in 2023. This follows efforts by U.S. lawmakers to block Chinese biotech companies, including Wuxi AppTec, from accessing federal contracts. The shares of Wuxi AppTec and its sister company Wuxi Biologics have suffered significant declines, erasing a combined $14 billion in market value. The U.S. Senate Committee on Homeland Security has scheduled a business meeting on March 6 to potentially consider and advance a biotech bill targeting Wuxi AppTec and other Chinese firms. Analysts estimate that contracting restrictions in the bill would affect about 2/3 of Wuxi AppTec sales. Your evening briefing: Apple retreats from the EV landscape. Bloomberg. Apple has reportedly cancelled its plans to build an electric car, ending its decade-long effort known as Project Titan. The decision comes as a surprise to the nearly 2,000 employees working on the project and marks the end of one of Apple's most ambitious ventures. The tech giant had been working on a fully autonomous electric vehicle with a luxury interior and voice-guided navigation. However, it has now decided to wind down the initiative. First FT, McKinsey website touted its consulting for Chinese government ministries. Financial Times. McKinsey has been accused of misleading U.S. lawmakers about its work for the Chinese government. The consulting firm has previously denied ever working for Beijing, but an investigation by the Financial Times has revealed that McKinsey claimed on its website to have advised the Chinese central government on matters including healthcare policy reform and boosting domestic consumption. U.S. lawmakers have suggested that McKinsey should be barred from contracting work for the federal government because of its alleged inconsistencies regarding its business in China. McKinsey has described the marketing claims as inaccurate. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.